Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, got something here that I wanted to show you. I've been meaning to show you this for a while, but just haven't had a chance because I've had so much HBAR content to deliver. But this is something that I wanted to show you about Karate Combat once again. I've been covering these guys quite a lot lately, but it's because there's just so much going on with them, and because to me, I think they have so much potential. Like the way I'm seeing them grow, as I'm saying, it's just so quick. Like it really is a snowball effect with these guys. And so we have here Joe Rogan mentioning Karate Combat, and a guy who he's doing a podcast with, and he's basically saying that guy's going to be there. So it's Din Thomas, and he's saying, hey, you know, catch me at Karate Combat, basically. Guys, like, this is what we're talking about. Like, I don't know if you know this, but I'm sure you guys probably do, but Joe Rogan is the biggest podcaster in the world, bar none. Like, he gets millions of views per podcast. So when you're seeing Joe Rogan give you this kind of attention, giving you this kind of mention, it says a lot. And let's not forget, Joe Rogan is someone who also commentates on UFC, right? So he knows about sports and martial arts. He does martial arts himself. So if he starts watching this and he becomes a fan, because I'll tell you this, Joe Rogan is like a very fair person from what I've seen. Like, I've seen him just like see someone's post on Twitter and he liked the post, and then next thing you know, he's got him as a guest on his actual podcast. Like, that's kind of crazy when you think about how big Joe Rogan's platform is. You would think it might be a thing of, hey, you know, you've really got to have some kind of status here to get into this. Like, I've seen him just like someone's post and it just was like a viral post, but the guy wasn't like known or anything like that. He wasn't like hugely successful or anything. But then off of the back of that, he ended up on the podcast. Now, don't get me wrong, the guy did music, but he wasn't a successful musician. Like, he was just someone who made a very viral post. And Joe Rogan just liked the post, and because of that, he got him on the podcast. So my thing with this is that if Joe Rogan sees Karate Combat and he starts to like really like it, I think he will support them. I think he will give them, you know, mentions. He will talk about them. Who knows? Could they maybe even get Joe Rogan to actually do a commentary? Now, I'll be honest, when it comes to that, with how successful Joe Rogan is in life, I don't know. Unless Joe Rogan was willing to do it just purely for the love, I don't know if they'd have the kind of budget to afford Joe Rogan, because he's massively successful. As I say, he's the biggest podcaster in the world. But you know, it might be a thing where, because Joe's just such a down-to-earth person, he might be willing to do it just for the love. He might just say, hey, look, I'm really into all this stuff. Like, I like what you guys are doing. So yeah, I'll just do a one-off day while I do a commentary for one of your events, that kind of thing. Who knows? But look, let's come out of that, because that's really like wild speculation. But the fact of the matter is, they have been mentioned on Joe Rogan's podcast. Like, that is a fact. So there's no disputing that, right? And that's showing you that they're getting traction, guys. They really are growing here. So I'm just seeing them grow more and more, and I'm just like, it's getting crazy. It really is. And so not only that, I'll just quickly show you another thing that I've got here. So here's another video, and this guy on the right, there's two guys on this video if you can't see, but the guy on the right, his name is Michael Bisping. He's a former British mixed martial artist, and he's actually talking about potentially coming out of retirement to fight someone on Karate Combat. Now, look, I don't know what that fight would be like, because the guy's retired. He's like 45, so I don't know what that fight would be like, but he has star power. Like, he has a very successful YouTube channel. He covers a lot of sports things. He covers UFC, he covers boxing fights, that kind of stuff. So he's already like successful. It's the same as with the whole BitBoy thing, right? He has a level of mainstream attention. So him getting into that kind of fight, it may bring, again, mainstream media over to Karate Combat, right? And his audience as well, you know, the people who watch him on YouTube and stuff like that, they might be excited to see him fight. But not even just that, guys. The fact that they're even covering Karate Combat just shows that they're continuing to get acknowledgement. Michael did not have to cover this. He could have just been like, I'm not really into this, you know, like this is some kind of knockoff UFC or whatever. I'd rather just stick to something more legitimate. No. So what does that say? They like this, right? They're covering it because they think it's good. And this is what I'm saying to you guys. Like, I really think this has the potential to be the crypto UFC. I keep saying it because I really do believe it. Like, it's looking really promising. And even if you look in this video, if you can just look below, you can just see like the crowd. This is what I've been noticing. The more and more I keep seeing videos from these guys, the crowds are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like that crowd looks full there. Now, the last video I saw, it was damn near full. Now, don't get me wrong, there was a few little seats I could see. There was a bit of empty spaces. So a little bit more to go. But honestly, for the most part, it was full. For the most part, it was full. And I believe they're going to get there because this is all happening. The way they've grown now, it is a matter of like months, the way this has all happened. And now they're getting like massive attention suddenly. So they're getting exponential rise in growth right now. And just one other quick thing I just wanted to show you as well, in regards to this. Their profile. When I looked at their profile, I can't remember how long ago this was, but I've been covering them quite a bit lately. I looked at their profile before and they was on around 45 to 50,000 followers. They're now on 311,000 followers. So, and just understand this is still very early days, guys. Like this is the early stages of this company growing, this sports company growing. So, man, like as I was saying before, I really think they have the potential to go really far. And this whole up only gaming that they're doing, like where you can gamble but you don't lose money, I really don't understand it fully because I don't get how they gain from that if they can't lose money. But it's such a genius idea because it gets people interacting. Now maybe even if they win the tokens are not of like a certain value, or maybe it might be a value of, okay, you're not going to get a monetary value out of it, but you may be able to get like certain like benefits, right? So maybe it's a thing where, for example, you can get like an NFT, and you holding that NFT, it could maybe become more valuable at a later date, right? I'm not sure, but it's a genius idea because who's going to worry about gambling if you can't lose? Do you see what I'm saying? If all you can do is win, like if you lose, you don't lose any money. So who's going to care? So it's a way to get people interacting without them worrying about any kind of consequence. And because of them doing this, it's actually allowed them to circumvent certain gambling laws. So they've actually made it so that it can get younger audiences involved because they're not going to be affected financially from this. It's a genius idea. Like the way they've gone about this, it's really great, guys. And I continue to keep watching them grow. And as I say, I'm just really impressed with them because I covered them like way earlier than this when I first saw them. I did a video on them. And it was when they first got funding from the HBAR Foundation. And I said, you know, looking at this at the moment, like, it's really early days, but I see the vision. Like I said this, I said, like, you know, I do see the vision of where they're trying to go. So if they can pull it off, yeah, I think they've got real great potential here. But we will see because, you know, there's never no guarantees. They've exceeded my expectations 100%. And the thing for me is like, they've still got so much further to go. Like, this is still so early for them. So my thing is like, where are they going to end up? I think they have the potential to really take off. And I mean like in a much bigger way than what they currently are. So, you know, as I say, guys, with Karate Combat, like my eyes are glued to them, to be honest with you, because I really think they could be massive. And I really think they could drive a huge amount of value to Hedera. So thought I'd just show you this because this is two huge influencers you've got here who are speaking about Karate Combat and covering them. And to me, that says a lot. When you've got people of Joe Rogan's caliber and even Michael Bisping, because he's a former mixed martial artist, right? So clearly he's not going to cover it if you don't think it's good. He's going to have like morals because he was someone who was actually fighting. He was doing this sport. So he clearly thinks highly of this to watch it and cover it. And he's even willing to say he's potentially willing to come out of retirement. So, you know, like you can see the potential here and how well they're doing. So yeah, guys, I just think they're massive. I really do. So definitely want to keep an eye on, in my opinion. But just more great stuff to see here from a company that, in my opinion, have still got so much further to go. But the future is still looking so very bright for them. So I'm expecting way more positive things from them. But what do you guys think? Joe Rogan mentioning Karate Combat. Do you like the sound of this? Are you someone who's used the Karate Combat app? Do you think that this will be good for HBAR's price? Or do you not like the sound of this? Is there anything that you've heard in this video that actually gives you any cause for concern? Or do you just not think that this will be good for HBAR's price overall long term? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'd be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.